What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. In this one, with the recent release of Chapter 4, Liam and I are talking about one of our favorite action franchises, John Wick. We go through each movie leading up to the most recent release, we talk in depth about each one, and we end up ranking the movies in the end as well. As always, a lot of good discussions as well as some mini topics before the main discussion, so we have a variety for you guys. Keep an eye out for the timestamps in the description if you want to avoid spoilers for any of the movies, and don't forget to interact with the poll as well. Also, keep in mind we have a Patreon. If you would like to support us at any level, we would really appreciate it. All of the money goes towards the new artwork that we've been doing for each episode. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoy this episode. So let's get into it. We're back. Liam was just making fun of my friend's hoodie. For those who are watching on video, you can see him wearing it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Friends.
Yeah, I only bought this, and I'm not even a big fan of Friends either. I've only seen like the first 5 episodes, but I only bought this because it was cheap, and it's rare I find hoodies that actually fit me well, and this one fit me pretty well, so I had to buy it.
What a shame.
I know. Well, I plan on watching more of it, and then maybe I'll actually like it.
No, don't waste your time. There are plenty of other things you could watch.
But I've seen people always show me clips like out of context that are kind of funny, so like maybe I should give it a shot.
Little mini topic before we like get into everything else. I did watch the first episode of Servant, so that's something.
You did?
Yeah. Woo. I mean, I didn't know a single thing about it at all, so the shock was good. I liked it. Like, I actually I don't even know what my reaction was when he like bonks the baby on the side of the bed. And I was literally just like, what? Like he just picked it up by the legs. That's one thing, and then just slams it against the crib, and I'm like,
yeah.
What am I? What? I was so shocked.
And then you come to see that it's a doll.
Yeah.
It was just done so well. That show consistently does stuff like that. That's so well done, and like every episode.
It's an intriguing first episode. Like, it's a good way to start it off because like I am hooked.
Trust me, it'll hook you and then keep you along for the ride. It's so good. I already finished all of it like not too long ago.
Is it like complete, or is it going to be ongoing?
Yeah,
from there?
It's pretty much done. Season 4 was their last season, and I just finished it. So season 1 is still my favorite, but all of it is pretty great. So
I knew about Toby Kebbell and Rupert Grint being in it, and loved them so far, and I just love them in general. But I actually didn't realize until like halfway into the episode that I recognized the main character, because she's her name's Janie in Too Old to Die Young. So yeah, I didn't realize that like it was her. I've never seen her in anything else, and then I was like, oh, that's
I've never seen her in anything other than this, and she blew me away in this. She was really good.
She plays Miles Teller's underage girlfriend in that, so yeah.
Wow. It's pretty weird roles she's taken. But yeah, Toby Kebbell like carries the show for me. He's good
great
in it.
so far.
He is great.
There's been one scene with Rupert Grint, and I was just kind of like, this is weird. Hearing an American accent, like, what?
You get used to it, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's not as like heavy American as Knock at the Cabin, that's for sure. It's a little too redneckish.
Before we just get into anything else, we should probably thank patrons, right?
All right, so thanking patrons. We got Kath.reviews. Kath, thank you for still being a patron.
Thanks,
You're the best.
Kath.
Thanks.
You're the best. And moving ___ pictures. Julia, thank you very much. We love you. I love you.
We all love you in our own ways. Who's next? Ardor Film. Thank you.
Wow. Look at you go. It was out of order, but look at you go.
Oh, it is out of order. Damn it. No, but thank you, Amy, for still being a patron.
And thanks to Sarah's Popcorn Chat as well. We appreciate you very much.
Thanks,
for sticking
Sarah.
with us this long.
And then thank you to Liam's mom, Luna.
You have to say it like that every time.
Well, I don't know. Thank you
Fair
to
enough.
Luna _ Pearl, our 5th patron. Thank you.
Thank you, mother. It all helps with the artwork, guys, so
It
thanks
does
a lot.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the artwork. We've been enjoying all of them so far.
And if you want to become a patron, check the link in the description.
Do we want to get either into just a couple of the best things we watched recently and then mini topics probably?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oh yeah, so yet again we're changing up how we're doing this.
Yes.
Last time, because whole episodes dedicated to catching up stuff seem like too much, and catching up on all of it before we get into our main topics. There's a lot of times to where I just don't know what to say about anything, and it kind of takes up a lot of time, so we decided to just stick with maybe like 2 or 3 really significant things we watched recently that we kind of want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, just check out our letterbox if you want to see everything that we've been
But
watching.
if you ever want to go like a bit further than that, like if you have more than 3, that's totally fine. But it's just like, you know, talk about the ones that are important that you'd rather talk about.
For sure.
Like whether it be bad or good as well. Like it doesn't have to always be just like the positive ones.
Right.
You know?
I've got at least 3 that really like I wanted to talk about.
So I'm going to tell you something shocking right now. Okay.
Oh.
Take a guess how many movies I've watched since the last episode. And new movies, no rewatches. Just take a wild guess. Take a stab in the
5?
dark. 1.
1?
And
You
we're
only
talking
watched
about it
John
today.
Wick? Oh my god. No.
I've just neglected movies so much because I've just been like either editing or trying to write reviews or editing my own videos. So I've just like had no time. I have rewatched, so if I wanted to just go for those, I can talk about those.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you want to talk about them, not just because you have to talk about them, if you want to, then
I will for like maybe like 2 or 3, we'll see. But you can go first.
yeah. One of the few things that really stood out to me, I watched Annette. I know you've seen it.
Yes.
God, that movie.
I keep like convincing myself in my head that like if I do watch that again, it's gonna go up to a 10.
I was really on the edge of a 10 throughout it. But I'd have to wait too. It's just there's nothing else like it, and
No.
I thought the music was incredible. Like I loved all the music actually. This was part of my long Sparks journey, which we'll talk about after this because it's one of the other things I want to talk about. Yeah, it was like the last thing of Sparks I needed to complete. I don't know. I didn't even know what to expect. This movie's crazy.
It is fucking
it's just
crazy.
Weird, but like I was expecting it. The first half really wasn't that weird, and this I'm not gonna like spoil anything unless we do end up doing that, but until like the birth of the daughter, and then that's kind of where it starts getting weird.
You could say that.
Yeah. And
oh my God.
After the ship, like the shipwreck scene, then it gets really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And just like
It is such a strange movie, but it's like
it is.
I think it's really special in the way that it tells this story though. And like, I mean, I don't want to just like call Adam Driver this because it's a meme, but like he's literally me.
Yeah.
I think.
A little bit.
But because like he has all these elements to him where he's just like so self-loathing, but he also really wants to be loved at the same time. He wants some sort of like comfort in his life, and he's just not getting that from anything. And he keeps doing all these things that just like fuck up his life even more. And it's like, man, I vibe with this guy, but I don't get why. And he's kind of a piece of shit.
He is. I know. I was trying to figure out like what was all the wrong things that he did, because like they bring up the whole 6 women have come forward, all with a similar story, and I was like, what did he do? He was an abusive person before this, but then it never really. I thought they were gonna like kind of dig deeper into that, but I don't remember them really digging deeper into like the 6 women.
They didn't really know.
Yeah, but oh well, it was a good song.
It's sort of one of those things that you can just add in there, and it like gives you some reason to start disliking this guy a little bit more. But it, like, you know, you're sort of on the edge because you're like, I don't see any proof or anything like that. Nothing's being talked about. It's not being continued. But then you see his actions after that, and you're like, well, if the shoe fits,
that's
kind
true.
Of, you know, like
why now? Why come forward now?
Yeah.
That was good.
I love that one sequence, and the song is called All the Girls. That sequence where he's just like, you know, going from place to place and just getting off with different people and all that shit. And he's just like, by the end of it, he's just fucking miserable. Like you could see it. And like
Yeah.
the song literally ends where he's just like, all the girls I see look so great to me,
Good to me.
but will I ever be lovable again?
See, he's literally me. He
Yeah.
totally is in this movie.
God.
I loved all of his stand-up scenes too.
Yes.
Like those are great. That whole movie could have just been those.
It was so weird.
What was his nickname or stage name? Like the ape, the great
I mean, I
ape
just
or
love his
something like that.
character's name, Henry McHenry.
Henry McHenry. I'm Henry McHenry. I'm Henry McHenry. What, that song? Oh, he's always eating bananas and smoking and just like.
He's just such a character. Like, he's
He
the
is.
entire heart of this movie for me. I just love him.
Same. He carried it. I'm glad it like focused on him. What was your favorite song? That was another thing I was wondering.
It was Sympathy for the Abyss.
How did
so
that one go?
It's the one that he sings with his daughter, like later in the film. I won't say what the setting is, but I'm sure you remember. Like, it's so sad. Like, it's
Yeah,
such a
that
sad
is.
song.
Yeah, it gets really sad. This movie gets so depressing towards the end.
Yeah.
It went from like funny, crazy, weird to just sad, depressing, and it was everything. Yeah, my favorite song, I've pretty much had it like on repeat. It's the opening introduction song, So May We
Yes.
Start. I love that
Yes.
song.
And
So
by the
may
way,
we start.
they opened with that when I saw them. Like,
Oh,
isn't that
really?
just the perfect opener?
Damn,
Fuck.
that is perfect. It's just like a perfect song to start the day too. It just is.
Yeah, I know. Do you know all the lyrics yet? We could karaoke that. Fuck.
I know someday if we ever can all do karaoke again.
Like I've said, it's like one of very few musicals that I love. Yeah.
Same. I could say I love it too. Yeah.
It's a very special movie.
And then relating to that, I guess, one of the other things I watched that stood out a lot was the Sparks documentary, because from a couple episodes ago, then I know we were talking kind of a little bit about it, how I had listened through the first few albums of Sparks and I didn't like them. So I had like weeks, obviously, of time before, just recently, to where every day I went to work, I was just doing my own thing, but I was also focusing on the music, and I was listening through all of their albums. It took me like over a week, like of listening nonstop every day. I mean, I remember each album distinctly, so like I didn't just kind of rush through it.
I should hope not.
No, I trust me, I was listening to all of it. There was a lot of albums I really did like. They're still a hit or miss band for me, but I can say that I do like Sparks. I think they're a good band, so I'm setting the record straight. They're a good band, and they actually, album Number One in Heaven, I ended up giving 5 stars. Like, I actually loved that album. So
it's a 5-star through and through.
Oh yeah, it is. I listened through all the music, and then I watched the documentary, which is also amazing. Edgar Wright directing a documentary, just that's just perfect, because it kept me engaged the entire time.
You could really tell how much he cared about like the subject matter with this one.
Oh yeah, you could definitely tell the passion that he had for it, and it was very entertaining. I was surprised at how entertaining it was, and like how informational it was too. Like, I learned a lot about them.
It's got a lot of info in there that's really fascinating, I think.
Yeah.
And such great editing.
It is great editing, great, obviously, music and interviews and all sorts of people. I don't know if there's ever gonna be like a documentary that is a 5 out of 5 for me, to be honest, just because they're not like, I'm not huge into them.
Me neither.
Actually, never mind. The only documentary I think I have that's 5 out of 5 is the Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster. That's it. But otherwise, no, this was really close to being perfect. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was really good. One more thing that stood out a lot, and I didn't really enjoy it that much, but it's also kind of a crazy movie, and it honestly kind of fits in with John Wick, what we're talking about today. But I watched Polar with Mads Mikkelsen.
Finally, yes. It's not very good, is it? But
movie.
like,
oh, it's like so.
It's
I don't want
entertaining.
to say it's so bad it's good. It's not. I don't think it's bad, but it's like so crazy that it is kind of good.
I don't know. I think the biggest problem that it has is just that it's very overlong, and like it takes ages for things to actually like kick in and stuff, but when they do, it's great.
Yeah, it's just so fucking, it's just bananas. Like, it opens up with Johnny Knoxville like
I know.
dancing to Earth, Wind and Fire, and then like getting a blowjob and then getting shot to death. And like, it's just, from the moment it opens up, it's crazy. I would say though, if anybody other than Mads Mikkelsen was starring as the main lead, I don't know if I would have liked it, honestly. Like, he was like the central interest in the movie for, I'm sure, both of us.
He's so much fun.
Like, if it was just a random guy as like the main character, I don't know if I would have really liked it.
One thing that like really just made me laugh was like the villain being Matt Lucas. I've watched like Little Britain and Come Fly With Me and like a bunch of British shows that he's in and shit. Him just like, I didn't know he was in the movie before watching, and I was just like, what the fuck, Matt Lucas? What the hell? And he's such a weird villain.
He is. He was just pushing the boundaries of what was too much for me in this movie. Everything was just kind of too much.
I really loved that entire sequence where he was just torturing Mads for ages.
Oh, that
so
scene
funny.
made me like so. It was kind of funny, but also like they were kind of just like a bit too indulgent in the. I'm just seeing him get. I don't know. It was just fucking
it went really
off-putting.
hard.
Yeah, it did.
But I just found it so funny how like into it Matt Lucas was.
Yeah, he was. It was just very uncomfortable though. I loved my favorite scene was probably when they try and, I guess we're basically spoiling it, but
Spoilers for Polar.
go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's an insane movie, but they track Mads Mikkelsen down. They send in like the seduction assassin to go and like into his little cabin, and then they're all like planning on killing him, but then he stops them and he just goes around naked, just like fucking taking them out one by one. That was
so
awesome.
I want like another Polar movie, honestly, but I just want it to be better and tidy, you know? Mm-hmm. I would love to see that character just come back again and go fucking wild.
I mean, it felt like they were setting up like the next John Wick, or that's what they wanted to be pretty much. So I knew I had to bring it up before this episode.
I just think the worst part though is like the serious element. Like it takes itself way too seriously sometimes.
It does.
And like Vanessa Hudgens' whole like character, she kind of sucked. She was just so boring to watch.
She was like supposed to be the heart of the movie, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't need a heart in a movie like this.
That's true. You don't need a heart. You just need Mads Mikkelsen fucking people up. Another thing I loved was the crazy turret gloves that he had.
Yes.
It was just,
I've
never seen anything like that. Oh, that was awesome. That was a really enjoyable movie the more I think about it. But yeah, it's not that good.
I might as well do a couple of standouts. I mean, they're all rewatches, but I'll be quick. I rewatched Alita Battle Angel. It's really interesting with this movie for me because it started off at a 3 out of 10 when I saw it in theaters, and then I rewatched it a couple of years later and it went up to a 7 out of 10 because I just found it really enjoyable and goofy and fun, but like it wasn't perfect or anything. But this time around I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Oh wow, keeps going up.
Yeah, it does. I don't think I can ever see it being a 10 because there are still things I genuinely just don't like about it. I think the love interest is extremely weak and the actor isn't that great for it. And it sort of just like holds back a lot of the movie because I really want Alita to like develop more, but he's always just like, no, I'm so attracted to you. But it's I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah,
he's just like
I didn't like that
there.
much either. I know, I didn't really like that aspect either. And plus I thought some of the green screen was also kind of bad, but maybe I'm misremembering.
It's bad in places for sure, but like as a whole, I actually love the look of the movie. Like I think it just looks like a sort of like half live action anime.
Basically is, yeah.
But like it's really cool with like a lot of the visuals, and some of the action scenes are so cool, and I love how into it gets with some of the like dialogue and shit. Some of it's so dumb, but it like leans into that and it knows it's dumb.
I own it, so like I do want to rewatch it because I have it at like a 5 out of 10 right now. I really wish I liked it more, but I hope that it jumps up for me too. I just don't know when I'll be in the mood again to ever watch that.
I think it's a fun watch. Like it's 2 hours long, but it really does feel like it goes by pretty quickly. Like it's always just moving. I think you could probably watch it and enjoy it. I'll just do 2. The other one was It Comes at Night. I rewatched that, and I think when I initially watched it I had it at like a 8 or a 9 or something, but this time it's a 10.
Wow.
But this is one where like I totally see people, like I completely understand why they don't like it. Very, very trippy. Like some moments are just like, what the fuck is even going on right now? And like the the fucking aspect ratio changes nonstop. You're constantly like feeling like you're in a trance with certain things. I don't know, and like because of that, when the jump scares happen, it really hits. I don't know, but I just think it's a brilliant movie. It like has so many tension filled scenes, such an incredible score, amazing acting.
The main thing I remember from that movie is just like the nightmare that one son was having, and then he walked out into the hall and then like saw the old guy standing there, right? That happened?
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about the movie, is like most of it is just him having nightmares.
Exactly. That's why, like, I think I'm in the group of people that was probably let down my first time, because I went in assuming it was like a straightforward, maybe, I don't know, monster apocalypse movie, but it's not that. Like, it's something different. Like, it's a different take on it.
I mean, the It of It Comes at Night seems to be just his nightmares, basically.
Exactly. I've been meaning to rewatch that. Like, I keep telling myself that is at the top of my list to rewatch, because I know that I'm going to like it more, but I still haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, it's a divisive but good movie for sure.
Be interested to see what you think when you rewatch.
I feel like I'll love it a lot more, honestly. All right, should we get into some mini topics if you have any?
I have like 2.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got at least 3 actually. 3.5. I have like 3.5 topics. As always, I'll kind of work my way bigger. But I mean, to be honest, these are about on the same level. And maybe you might have some of these too. I don't know. It looks like Clayface might be a villain for the Batman 2. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I did hear about that, and I'm very excited.
Man, yeah, that was exactly what I was kind of hoping that they would do. Like, when I was thinking of villains they could get for the second movie, because I'm trying to think, like, what villains have we not seen on screen, or at least done well, you know?
Yeah.
And I can't think of any past Batman movies that have even had Clayface, and he's a pretty big villain for Batman. So it was about time. Even though I feel like you have to go heavy on the CGI for a villain like Clayface. Like, I don't know how else you can do it. Like, I hope they do it well.
It's good that they're at least like branching out and it's not like the same shit over and over again. But I'm sure that, you know, Joker is probably going to be in there somewhere, obviously.
Of course, he has to be. It's like, why do we have to keep bringing back Joker? But anyway.
I don't know. And it's probably like going to come out around the same time as like Joker 2, right?
Exactly. It's just Joker fucking overload, man.
Yeah.
And then where's Jared Leto's Joker? He's still floating out there. We can't forget that. So
that's another thing as well. Apparently they might be like, aren't they planning on bringing Clayface into the DCEU as well?
Are they? I didn't hear about that part. I
think I might be wrong, but I think they might be planning it. So there's going to be another iteration of that as well. Yeah.
It's so well, I guess. I don't know. As long as it's
I'm looking
done
forward
well.
to the Batman's one, though.
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Batman one, too. And I hope that Barry Keoghan can prove me wrong about his Joker.
I'm sure he'll be good.
I need to move on from, like, I compare everything to Heath Ledger, and I know I shouldn't compare everything back to that.
I don't think he'll surpass Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix, but I think he'll be good.
He'll be better than Jared Leto's Joker. We know that.
Like,
already I know that.
Leto's Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, like, top 3 is like Mark Hamill, though.
That's true. If we're including just the voice, then he's definitely top 3. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I need to rewatch the first Batman. I've still only seen it the one time in theaters, so it's
that was one of my other rewatches, if you want to go into that.
Oh yeah, I did see that you rewatched it. What score is it now?
It's still a 9 out of 10. It's stayed the same for all 3 watches. Right
now I've had it at like an 8, but it'll jump to a 9 if I rewatch it.
This is another AI story, another one.
I have some too, so maybe we have the same.
What have we talked about with AI so far? We've talked about the ChatGPT shit,
robot lawyers, face recognition,
deepfakes and shit, basically.
Oh yeah, deepfakes. Yeah,
I don't think we've ever gotten into it properly, like not
probably
deepfakes, but yeah, we went into the voice thing last time with that Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting scarier. This is another like voice one, but it's like it's actually it feels like it's a threat on the music industry.
That's not good.
At this point in time, right now, you could make music that sounds exactly like another person, from the instrumental to the voice, like all of it. It's just all AI generated, and it's scary. Imagine the future that's gonna bring. Like, my God.
I think I've been seeing clips about these two. and it's I know I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, this one was a Kanye West one.
They are gonna start making music with AIs for him now because they don't want the real thing apparently anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna become obsolete. I can play a bit of it for you if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Okay. All right.
That's beautiful, that's dark and twisted. But I attacked the whole religion all because of my ignorance. What was I thinking? That was some bitch shit. I lost Adidas, but I'm still Yeezy. Back in the kitchen, man, I'm a genius. Boys in the hood, just like I'm easy. Kanye, Weezy, Southside, Chicago, life ain't easy. All praise be to Lord Jesus, Donna, please rest easy.
Yeah, not good.
Wow, that was building. I mean, if that was actually Kanye, I'd say that's good. Like, that was some good shit.
I don't want to say that's good, but it sounds like it, yeah.
Right. Yeah, like, to your average person, like, if you just played that to me, I wouldn't have assumed it's AI. Now that I know it's AI, that's not good,
It's
man.
fucked. That's not good.
They could do this for anybody now. Like, studios could probably, I don't know how it would work, but record labels, couldn't they just, why do they need the real artist if they can just duplicate it like that? Like,
they don't.
I don't know.
There was a discussion as well about, like, you know, what if people, like, brought back, like, dead celebrities like that in that way?
Yeah.
Like, you know, their music could live on through AI. And it's like, no.
It's not them, though. It's just their voice.
No, it's not them.
Yeah. Like, it's not their creativity or their, like, thoughts going into this music. It's just their voice. Like, that's all it is. So it just seems, like, really weird and insincere.
It's real fucked up.
Man, to add on to that, my AI thing was that Elon Musk and tech leaders called for a pause on AI, citing risks to society. So because it's just becoming too much. Like, what's it say here? All it says is Elon Musk and other tech leaders call for a pause on dangerous race to make AI as advanced as humans. Because, I don't know, it's shit like this keeps happening.
I mean, I'm glad it's maybe going to slow down or whatever, but I don't see it slowing down. I don't think it is.
I don't see it either.
Like, people are still going to keep working on this shit, like, whether, you know, tech leaders like it or not, it's still going to keep going. And it's going to get worse. And it's going to become more accessible to the general public, and that's when it gets really bad.
It already basically is accessible to us. I mean, the whole chat GPT thing is, like, really convenient, but it's almost like you can use it for anything now, and... you can't use it for everything, but people are going to. Like, you can write whole essays just from that. And
this is going to bring on a whole stage of, like, paranoia from a lot of people, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, is what I'm reading or what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing real? And
exactly,
it's gonna bring so many people into, like, mental illness because of this shit. I mean, that's just one thing that it poses that is bad, but I mean, there are, like, good things about AI. Like, apparently in the medical industry, like, it's a pretty good thing. Yeah. Like, I haven't read more into that, but I've just heard people saying that.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely uses for it, but, like, it doesn't have to be used in, like, the entertainment world, duplicating voices and shit. And, like,
exactly.
This was, like, part 2 of my one other topic about AI was that Ubisoft is using an AI ghostwriter to save scriptwriters' time. That's a new thing that just that I just saw yesterday. Yeah, so Ubisoft, they're using AI ghostwriters instead of actual scriptwriters.
Well, Ubisoft is, like, a gaming place, right?
Yeah.
Why would they publicly admit that?
I don't know. I don't know if I just saw it from this news source, so maybe
that
it just,
must
like,
be a leak
leaked
or something.
out.
Yeah,
it must be a leak or something. But it's taking jobs away from humans. Everything's gonna be ran by. We're living in, like, Wall-E world. Oh,
yeah, I think, like,
fucked.
The thing about it coming into the entertainment industry is, like, at the end of the day, like, regardless of whether they write something or, you know, produce something better than humans or whatever, it's like we've still gotten up to this point on our own without AI and, like, produce so many beautiful, amazing things that people are in love with. We can continue to do that. AI is not better at that than us, I don't think.
No.
But it's convenient, which is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that AI can be used, like you said, for, like, in the medical field. I'm sure there's great uses for it. I'm sure in other fields there are. But it's starting to, like, make its way into every field out there to where it doesn't have any... AI should not be in the entertainment or the art field because art is that's the point of art, is that it comes from humans and their mind, There's places it doesn't need to be, and it's already everywhere. And but thankfully, like, when I look at these, you're always seeing these pictures of like AI generated art. I can instantly tell like that looks like AI generated art because it looks goofy as hell. So I can tell at least what's AI and what's not, but I'm scared for the point.
There's a lot of different type of art out there. So like some do fool me every now and then because it's like, this could just be a painting. It looks like a painting.
I always just notice like the face. If the face of it looks really distorted and weird, it's usually AI.
That's the thing that they still haven't like perfected yet as humans, I think.
No,
which is ironic.
It is ironic. Oh, they could do everything else except us. It's scary that we're watching this happen in like real time, Like, our grandkids will probably be telling them, like, I remember before AI, like, what it was like.
I do want more, like, convenience with things, like, with the way that technology keeps developing, but I don't want something like that, because it does seem like a threat now.
You have to find, where do they draw the line? Like, because ChatGPT is really convenient. Like, anytime I want to know something or, like, give me 30 hashtags about this so I can like put it on my post. It's so convenient at certain things, but it's being used for the wrong reasons. And
I haven't really used it aside from just fucking around with it, but
I mean, exactly. It's for fun. Like, it can be used for fun, but like not for replacing actual human creativity. AIs don't have creativity. They can only like replicate it from humans. So
I mean, they're developed from humans, right? So like all of their sources are things that humans did, or
exactly, they're just pulling from that. They're pulling like little bits from everything and like making what they think humans would make. I don't know.
I just don't want it to turn into Terminator. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
That's it.
There's probably more important places that it shouldn't be in either. Like, we're probably gonna have like an AI president in fucking 100 years.
No, we're not. There's no way we'll let that happen.
I don't know.
Surely.
I bet if like people from decades ago, if they saw what AI is doing now, they would think that's fantasy, like things of like dreams,
Yeah, but an AI president, like
in charge. They already have AI lawyers. Remember that one story?
That's very different to a president.
I don't know. Lawyers are that's important too. So
true, lawyers do decide people's fate.
And look at our president now. I mean, our president's basically like half of a brain. Like, he has like half a brain. So I mean, and maybe an AI president would be better. I don't know.
Fucking hell.
My last topic, not as heavy as what we were just talking about, but Joaquin Phoenix apparently is going to. It's funny because we haven't even gotten Ari Aster's new movie yet, but it says Joaquin Phoenix is going to officially star in his next movie after Beau is Afraid, and it's a Western movie. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's interesting. It looks like he's a new collaborative duo we got. Ari Aster and Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, I read like a thing saying that they became like, really good friends while making that movie. So,
that's cool. That seems like a perfect like actor director duo, honestly, because they're both weird. They're just both weird and kind of off-putting in the things they do.
I'm really interested in seeing Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, me too. I want to see that before we get another. I mean, they're already talking about his next movie. I've only seen like one trailer from Beau is Afraid, and that's it. I kind of want to watch that.
I haven't seen the trailer. I'm just gonna go in completely blind. Yeah.
I kind of envy you there because the trailer. I'm confident that. The trailer, I'm not going to give anything away, but like they make it look really mainstream. Like this is like a mainstream, like kind of weird comedy. And that's kind of probably what they did with Hereditary. They made it seem to be like a mainstream horror movie when that's not really what it was. So I'm sure the marketing is going to be different than the actual movie.
Don't know what to expect.
But I can't wait. I've heard like great things already about Beau is Afraid.
Well, my only other one was just something that you may have seen that infuriated me today. Like, pushed me over the edge.
Oh, I did. I saw it. I knew that this would be...
Yeah. Oh my god. So basically, HBO Max are planning on making a Harry Potter series, remaking Harry Potter, and there'll be one book per season, apparently. I do not want this. I wanted to kill myself when I read this.
they're making a book or like a season about.
They're making a series, and like it'll be each season will cover one of the books.
Oh, that gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess just because they adapt fucking Last of Us, they can do what they want. But I'm just so angry because like I don't understand why. I mean, okay, look, this is completely biased because, you know, like I love Harry Potter unconditionally. I grew up with the movies and I'll always love them, but I think that it has been adapted perfectly. I love the movies so much, all of them. I just don't get why this soon you would remake it into a series. It's already done so well and it has such a huge fan base. People like love the movies. Why just fucking leave it? Like explore more of the Wizarding World instead of doing this. Whether you like Fantastic Beasts or not, it's different. They're trying something new. They're exploring a different part of the Wizarding World. Like it fucking started off in America. There are parts in Fantastic Beasts where they go to like Paris and Germany and shit. Like it's exploring more of like the entire world and stuff. And I'd like to see more movies where they do that. But why would you fucking remake Harry Potter, especially this soon?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because, like, and you know how I feel about the last 4 movies. I don't love them, but I still think that they're, like, those are better adapted than anything else we'll probably get. Like, I realize that those are good, faithful adaptations. They shouldn't be touched. Like, I think they were done well, even though I didn't like the style of half the movies. I still think they were really done well and they shouldn't be touched. So I'm in the same boat. Why make it so soon again?
One of the other things that's just bothering me, like, in general right now as well, is everything has to be a fucking series because people cannot get off their couch. I just don't get why you would... Like, something like Harry Potter as well is so cinematic. You should be able to see that kind of shit in a cinema. And like I remember like going to the cinema when like Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince came out and all that shit and all the ones after that, and I would get so excited and it would be one of the best theater experiences of my life. With this it's like you're just gonna sit on your couch and watch it, and it's just gonna be like this ongoing
it's gonna
thing.
be less and it's gonna feel less significant and like less magical and important if it's just a series that you could binge at home rather than, you know, a big opening movie. And on one side of it, it does make sense. Like, imagine if the Harry Potter movies never happened, it does make sense that they would do it in a series form. For something that was from a book, I can understand because, you know, a series allows for much more time to flesh out details in the book, you know? Like, a movie can't cover in 2 hours maybe everything in a single book, whereas a series might be able to because that's like 8 hours or 10 hours, you know? You know, I think the movies did it totally fine, and I think they're only doing this because it's just a big IP, a big brand, and they don't know what else to do with it, I guess. Because they've already done the Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, it's a cash grab. But I don't understand how you can cast them any better than the characters have already been cast.
Yeah, that's another thing. How the hell are you going to do that?
Like, it's Harry Potter. He's one of those actors, like Daniel Radcliffe is, that it's similar to Heath Ledger's Joker, Iron Man's Tony Stark, or Robert Downey Jr. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's actors attributed to characters that are so iconic.
Just is Harry Potter.
Yeah, that he just is. And like it's
the same with like every character in that movie as well. I feel the exact same way. Like
exactly,
Alan Rickman is
Rickman
Severus Snape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rupert Grint is fucking Ron Weasley. It's all of it's
and
just
Hagrid,
perfect.
Hermione, like you can't redo these characters and like have us take it seriously. It's gonna feel cheap. It's gonna feel lesser, and it's just
I just don't want it. I really don't want it.
On the bright side, I mean, we're always getting useless adaptations, but on the bright side, we'll always have the movies to go back to, and I think the majority of people will agree with us too. Like they're gonna love the movies more too.
I would hope so.
Everybody's
I'm just hoping that people boycott it so much that it doesn't leave the ground. I don't want this to happen. Like, this is like...
I mean, they'll either boycott it because of J.K. Rowling or because of our reasons, so one of the two.
Imagine how crazy Chandra will go if, like, they remake Lord of the Rings. That's me right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm very upset.
That's funny, because I thought they were talking about remaking Lord of the Rings. I think they were actually looking to like make a 4th installment or some stupid shit. Like, freaking companies, they don't know what they're doing. These studios, they don't know what they're doing, man.
I get that they have like big IPs that they want to follow and like all that stuff because it makes money. Like, that makes sense and all, but like, just leave it. Make something new. please.
Yeah.
Like, what happened
Yeah.
to the times when people actually made something new? Like, it's just, it feels like,
I know,
I don't
it's-
know what the last new thing was that was, like, so huge. Like, maybe Game of Thrones or something like
I think
that.
that's what I was thinking too. Like, but that's the thing, is that a lot of these big franchises, they do stem from, like, yeah, books written in the past, and like we haven't had an iconic big like source material to be adapted into something since probably, yeah, Game of Thrones. Because I mean, the Lord of the Rings books are old as hell and they've been adapted. Harry Potter books are older, they've been adapted. So like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, I don't know why they need to go back and rehash it all again. It's because there's nothing new that's come out that's been worth adapting, I guess.
They just need to, like, go and find a book or something and just, like, adapt it and then see what happens. Like, just do
I mean,
it.
they did it with Twilight. The Twilight was a big thing. That was mid 2000s, I think. I mean, so that was
and whether you like it or
recent-
not, it was popular. Like, it
yeah, it was popular and like
did work at the
iconic.
time. Yeah.
So yeah,
Like, even
but-
if these things, like, flop sometimes, like, they still make money. They do.
yeah, they do. They do. It's just
I think the
it's
Maze
too
Runner was
soon.
quite big to an extent as well.
it was Maze Runner. What
I
else?
really like Maze
Percy
Runner, honestly.
Jackson.
Hunger
like
Games.
yeah, they're Hunger Games, of course. This is like a recurring thing. Like they're always going to be adapting these big book franchises.
Well, you would hope so, but no, they just want to remake shit now. Like, I
Yeah.
just had enough of it. I didn't want like a Last of Us remake, but I can accept that. But a Harry Potter remake, I will not accept that.
No. We'll see how it turns out, I guess. We'll see if anything comes from it. Small side note, but you haven't like gotten Hogwarts Legacy yet, have you?
I actually got it as a gift from Julia. She bought it
Oh.
for me, and it hasn't come in the mail yet. But apparently, it's meant to come sometime early this month. So,
Yeah, I haven't gotten it, but I mean that looked good at least. I heard good things.
hey, that's another thing. Adapt that game,
Yeah. Yeah, you could. Why not?
or
Like,
adapt the Tales of Beetle the Bard, or like some other shit in the fucking Harry Potter
exactly,
universe.
like expand on it or just make up your own thing within that universe.
That's why I admire Fantastic Beasts. It's literally a book that's like a dictionary, an encyclopedia of magical creatures, and that's it. Like, there's no story in that book whatsoever. They just made it with the films, and it's ongoing. And I like that. Like, they're trying
That's
something new.
clever. They should keep doing that. Anyway, moving on to the main meat of the episode. John Wick movies. That's what we're talking about. Mainly chapter 4.
Yeah.
I thought we could just like start with the first movie, just go through up until 4 and just kind of briefly give our thoughts on them. And like the main discussion will be with chapter 4. After that, maybe we can like rank the movies from worst to best if we want.
Yeah, sure. I love them all.
I love them all too. I feel like I could say the same thing for every single movie, but I'm gonna try and think of why I actually like each movie.
So John Wick 1. And I had the chance to like rewatch these over Discord with Julia as well, like right before it came out. So, I mean, before the new one came out. But yeah, I've like, those rewatches were like, all of them were at least my third time watching them. And
Nice,
some of them were
nice.
like my fifth time or some shit. So yeah, they are so rewatchable.
They are. I've definitely rewatched them a lot as well because most of them, I think the first 3 of them came out like while I was still living at my dad's house, and my dad and brother were both kind of obsessed with them. Like they would, especially my brother, like they would just play on repeat half the time. Like it's almost all they watched. So I would just walk in and like, you know, watch most of it. And I've seen them way too many times, but yeah, they never get old. They just never get old. John Wick 1, I love because of the simplicity of it. It's a great just like introduction to the character. If you watch it now, the action probably seems like tame compared to like 3 and 4 probably.
Yeah.
Just because it's not as, you know, crazy nonstop, but it's still super memorable. I love the club scene. Like that's like one of my favorite sequences in like all 4 of the movies basically.
It's so good.
It is like it's probably my favorite actually moment in the whole franchise is just with that techno beat in the background, watching John just like walk after the guy in like the bath towel, just fucking running away for his life, and then seeing John walk through the crowds of people, that it gives me like chills. It's
It's
so fucking great.
good. Yes.
Uh,
He just rains
yeah.
fucking hell on all of them. It's awesome.
It does. Yeah, I feel like, and it almost feels like we haven't, up until that point, because that was 2014, I feel like we hadn't ever really seen anything like that yet in action movies. Like a character this cool, with a soundtrack this cool, with like it just that doesn't hold back on its action,
Yeah.
and just nonstop fucking like headshots and like crazy choreography, and just like it's so stylized too.
The choreography is just always impressive. Like,
Yeah.
in the first, it's like just great, but like it keeps fucking up in the ante every time. It's crazy.
It does. It does.
I love that club scene. That club scene is amazing.
And also, I mean, the first movie has Willem Dafoe. There's another extra point for it. I mean, it has Willem fucking Dafoe. I always forget he's in the movie, and he gets tortured in it. It's like, oh, it's great.
Should we? I mean, we should probably say
We should
spoilers
probably-
for all these.
Yeah.
I would say.
Oops. We'll at least be spoiling the first 3 John Wicks, and then we'll have a little non-spoiler 4 discussion. So,
Spoilers for John Wick 1 through 3. 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yes. But yeah, he does get tortured.
it gets tortured pretty bad.
One of the best things about that movie as well, I think, is Michael Nyqvist. You know, the guy who kills the dog, like his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
his
he's
dad.
fantastic. And like, he's an actor that like we lost like right after that as well, I think.
Oh, really?
And I'd seen him in quite a few things because he I don't know if you've seen the Swedish Go with the
Girl
Dragon
with the
Tattoo.
Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, he was good in that.
Have you seen the other two as well?
I have seen the other 2, but they're not as fresh in my mind. I really need to rewatch them.
I haven't seen them in a while, but I used to love those movies. But yeah, he's a great actor. I really miss
He
him.
is.
But he's great in John Wick. Like,
He is. I think this is probably the first thing I really remember seeing him in. But
I mean, he's the one who gave us the iconic pencil line.
yeah,
like,
he killed him with the fucking pencil. the fucking
The
pencil.
fucking pencil. I love that the way that scene is edited as well, where it's just like he's like with the fucking, and then it cuts to John like smashing the concrete pencil.
Oh, it's just so good. That's why I'm not gonna say where it's in my top, ranking of the movies, but I love this movie so much because it was so iconic, like for a lot of those moments, like so memorable and iconic, and just stylized and just badass. I really like that character of the dad too, because he's so like, he seems like a complicated character because he almost like accepts his son's fate, that like, my son's gonna die and there's nothing I can do to stop the Baba Yaga.
And there are these moments as well where he's just like laughing about like the situation that's going on, because he's just like, we're all fucked. Like John Wick's coming, we're all fucked. I'm just accepting this now. But like,
there's nothing else he could do but laugh because he's
I love
so
how he
nervous.
explains all of that shit to his son in that scene, and then he's just like, Dad, I can make this right. And then he's just like, did he hear a fucking word I just said?
That's another thing, the humor.
When it's there,
so
it's
good.
great.
So yeah, the first movie, it's great. It's amazing. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for me as well. I love it.
Yeah. Now the second movie, other than the fourth movie, because I've obviously only seen the fourth once so far. The second is probably, it's the one I've watched the least, but I still really love it. It's not like my favorite or anything, but it's got some of my favorite moments of the franchise as well, packed in the second one.
I mean, I've probably talked your ear off about John Wick 2. I love John Wick 2. But
yeah,
rewatching them though, I don't think I like it like as much as 3 right now.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if I do or not. I don't know. They're so interchangeable for me. John Wick 2 has so many great moments, and it's like probably one of the best shot, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just so good looking.
Greatly shot. It is really good looking. Yeah, it's like they just upped the style of it. Like that's the one mainstay of these movies too, is like the style. Like it's just so cool and so stylized, from the music to like the lighting and the fucking club scenes and like just the set pieces. And yeah, everything about the second one, they kind of, I don't know, the architecture of all the fucking places they go, it's really cool.
Yeah. I think that this one has those scenes that make you just like recoil, where you're just like, ooh, that fucking, I don't like that.
I know,
I think this has the most of that in the whole series.
The one moment I can think of in this movie that does that for me, it is the pencil in the ear. That's what it fucking makes me cringe every time.
Yeah, because he just does it so quick.
I know, and I love how they included that too, because it's kind of a little callback to the first movie. You know, he killed somebody with a pencil. Like, oh, he's killing another person with a pencil.
But then, like, during that scene as well, like he goes for the eye as well. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
like at the end, he just like it's like that slow like close up shot of him like about to stab him in the eye. I'm like, oh my god!
I could have swore that was in. Did they do that in the third movie as well? I could have sworn.
No, this was in John Wick 2. Yeah.
Oh.
Hello everyone, Liam from the editing room here to tell you guys that I was wrong. It did not happen in John Wick 2. It did happen in John Wick 3. Quinn was right. I was wrong.
I thought they did something with an eye in the third movie as well, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They upped the kills, like the kills for sure. Like not just the amount of people he kills, but like the creativity of them. Yeah. They definitely upped. Yeah, just kind of everything kind of felt bigger and I guess better, you could say, and like with the second movie for sure.
It just felt like a lot more gory sometimes as well. Like
it was.
Even when John Wick goes to like kill that woman and she just like slits her wrists open, like oh my god. It's just gross.
Yeah, it was. It definitely is a lot more gory and a lot more like just hardcore. The only things maybe that is less memorable for me about the movie is the villains or the antagonists of the movie. They're just not quite as like, I don't know, as like the first movie. That was like a memorable bad guys, you know. Whereas the second movie, it was definitely more focused around the action, less about maybe the story itself, but there was still definitely a story there.
I felt like the villain in this one was like such a nuisance for like the entirety of the runtime. Like he's just so unlikable and such a dick. Like you just hate him like the whole time. But like that's why I think the end is as impactful as it is, because it's just like you've been waiting for this guy to get some fucking payback like after all this shit for the entire runtime, and like John Wick does not hold back. He just straight up fucking shoots him right in the head.
And it's like one of the best moments of the movie for sure.
Best moments of the whole fucking series.
It is.
I love that scene.
It's great. I love the whole like it's just he shoots him and it's just silent and they're just like figuring out what just happened. And then he's like, done? What have you done, John?
Finished it.
See, and that's the thing about like John has these iconic like little one-liners throughout, and it's so fucking cool. It's like iconic. It's just he's such a good character in these first few movies. It's like,
and I really don't care that he doesn't say that much. I don't like. I just love the moments when he does talk. You know,
right? The moments he does talk. Then, was it in the first or second movie that he's like that? It was in the first, right? Where he's like, oh god, I'm gonna have to look up the quote. This is worth it. I need to look up the quote.
I do like that one in the first one where he's like with the police guy that comes to his house like after he kills all these people.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, hey John, hey Jimmy, noise complaint.
Yeah. The moment, it was in the first movie apparently, but like one of my favorite John Wick lines, if we're talking like quotes or lines: when Helen died, I lost everything until that dog arrived on my doorstep, a final gift from my wife. In that moment, I received some semblance of hope, an opportunity to grieve on alone, and your son took that from me, stole that from me, killed that from me. And then he follows it up with, people keep asking me if I'm back. I haven't really had an answer, but now, I'm thinking I'm back. Oh, it's so good.
He delivers it so passionately. I love it.
I had to remember that scene. It's it's so hard picking like a favorite scene in these movies because there's so many good ones.
In John Wick 2, when he comes across Common, he's like leaving after that woman like slits her wrist and shit. He just goes past him and he's like, hey John, you working again?
I did like, that was the more memorable bad guy, I guess quote unquote bad guy of the John Wick 2 was Common. I thought they're kind of like, he was, and like their moments of like fighting throughout were definitely some of the more memorable parts for me.
I think one of the most badass moments in the whole series is like when he like stabs him on the train, and then he's just like, you know, the knife is like in your whatever. And
Yeah.
if you pull it out, you will bleed out and you will die. Consider this a professional courtesy. And he just leaves.
Yeah.
I love it. He's
Yeah,
just
me
so
too.
cool.
He is. It's just nonstop coolness from these fucking movies. It's just
No one
like,
could be as cool as John Wick. Like,
No.
he's just the coolest person in the
No.
world.
And I think another thing about the second movie is that it actually has my favorite ending of all 4 movies. It has my
Yes.
favorite ending. It's so good. It's the best cliffhanger. It gives me chills. Just when he's just running with the dog, and everyone
Yeah.
else is checking their phones, and he has the fucking hit on his head. It's the perfect like setup for a next movie.
It's like, whoever comes, tell them all. I'll kill them. I'll kill them all. Of course you will. Fucking love
I
Ian
need
McShane.
to watch this again. I need to watch the second one again.
Please do. It's
Man,
great.
I know. I really need to. It's the one I've seen the least, like I said, apart from the fourth.
I love how Lawrence Fishburne comes in at the end too.
What was
Well,
his
he has
part
to
at
go
the
to
end?
him like to basically get a gun because he's got nothing.
Yeah.
7 million gets you 7 rounds. Somebody please get this man a gun.
Oh man,
love
you
it.
need to see. I can't wait for you to watch the Matrix movies because, like, you will love, because obviously they have a,
Yeah.
you know, that's a duo in that movie, those movies too. Yeah, that's another recurring thing with these movies that I love is that he's always coming to Lawrence Fishburne to get like his gun. He's just always need a gun, just go to Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Man, I guess moving on to the third movie.
Sure.
It probably has my favorite action sequences at the moment of all 4 movies, probably, if I really had to think.
I think like up until seeing the 4th, and I'm like not entirely sure if I feel this way or not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes on a rewatch, but like I do think that the 3rd has the best action.
Good. That's
Like
that's
the
what I think
4th
too.
is very, very close though, I think, as well.
For me, the action in the third movie it still just left more of an impact on me. Like, it's a bit more memorable. Like, the opening scene in the library where he fights that fucking like 7-foot tall guy.
Yes.
Like, it's just so like crazy and weird, but like unique, because he fights. He's already fighting this giant fucking guy, but the fact that he kills him with a book makes it even weird, crazier. So it's
It just gets so creative. I love it.
they do. Like, I felt like the Wick movies with these first 3, I guess, they were getting consecutively creative and more creative with each kill and each one. And it was really noticeable.
Yeah, it really just kept going. Like, I didn't expect when I saw John Wick 3 that it would be as, like, fucking wild as it was. Like, I didn't even know if I liked the movie that much after watching it the first time, because I was just like, this is so insane, and I didn't realize it went this hard, and the universe of John Wick is this huge, basically.
Yeah.
But, like, I kept thinking about it afterwards, and I'm like, my god, that was so much fun. Like, I just loved it.
I know. To me, this is probably still the most rewatchable one, I would say, as well, out of all 4 for me at the moment. And that's just
And it's
because it
pretty
does
long,
have the
too.
best action. And how long is this one? Is it?
It's like, I think it's like 2.5 or 2:20.
See, I thought 4 was the longest so far.
4 is the longest.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why this doesn't feel as long in my mind, because 4 was longer. But yeah,
I mean, can we talk about the museum scene?
the museum scene?
Like with the knives?
Oh, of course, yeah. See, that happens really early on too, and that is
Yes.
one of the best action sequences of the franchise as well. Holy shit!
It's one of the best action sequences in general, I think.
It is.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I can swear, if one of us ever rewatches this movie, then I'm pretty sure this is the scene that ends up with him pushing a knife into somebody's eye. I swear to God. Maybe he does. I
No,
don't
this
know.
is I know exactly how this one ends. It ends with him throwing an axe at a guy's head.
Either way, it's just badass. It's so well done. And of course, you can't not talk about like the whole dog sequences, like the fact that the 2 dogs from Halle Berry, that was really cool. Like, we haven't seen
that
that
was so
before. I don't know how they train these dogs to do all this crazy shit, and like the fact that they weren't CGI'd, obviously, was great.
They're amazing. I think that the entire ending is probably like my favorite part, honestly. Like I think it's like maybe 40 minutes or so of just non-stop action. The Continental like gets shut down, everything's all like dark and shit. They have like a huge gunfight downstairs. It leads to like a huge knife and sword fight upstairs, and then just beating the shit out of each other.
Oh,
and then the movie ends, and it's like,
yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, it just went so hard for so long. It was so much fun.
And that's another thing I just remembered another reason I love this one so much for its action and also for its characters too, though, is that one guy that kept coming back, the bald
Asian guy?
The bald Asian guy. Who was like such a, it's so interesting though, because he's like such a big fan of John Wick. And he's trying to kill him, and he's like so happy just to see him. And like that one scene where he sits right next to him on the couch in that area that they can't. And then also after that big sword fight upstairs, I think it was after the gunfight, maybe they just are going at it forever. And he's like so tired, but he's still just so starstruck by fighting John Wick.
I love when he's like fighting it's that guy and like his two like henchmen or whatever, I don't know what to call them, but like he's like got the two other guys that are fighting John before fighting him. It's like leading up to a final boss basically. But like like when he's fighting those two, he gets like the shit beat out of him and he's just lying on the floor, and then they're like helping him up basically to like fight more. When he gets up, he's just like, he just puts his hands out and he's like, give me some fucking space. He just looks so frustrated, but then he just goes back to beating the shit out of them. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
And I love the way that scene ends as well, where he's literally almost killed like that guy. And he's just like, don't worry, John. I just got to catch my breath. I'll catch up to you, John. He's like, no, you won't.
Yeah.
I love it.
That character is just so good, though. He like brings like
he's great.
A weird, like endearing, like comic relief to all these crazy intense scenes. And also, I guess, along with that ending, I really do love that whole... Where are they exactly? Are they in... It almost feels like they're in like a bank or something. Where are they in that shootout?
That's just the lower floor of the Continental.
Oh,
but that was
like
before the...
Oh, I thought...
the fighting.
You're right. I thought bank because they keep going in and out of that vault and where they keep all the guns. And I just love how they keep going in and out of the vault to grab more guns. And then you got the Ian McShane just sitting there drinking like wine.
Yes. And I love how like after like the first round of like killing people, he like goes back to the vault and he's like, Winston! Yeah. Well,
I also love because it's like after the second or third fucking round of the guys that they go in, and Lance Reddick and John Wick have been just fucking like shooting up all these people, and they come back in and they don't even say a word to each other. He's just handing them guns and they're just loading up guns.
And like even Lance Reddick looks like he's just frustrated because he's just shot so many people, and he's like, just give me more ammo. And then he like goes and gets like the really strong bullets that like fucking do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He's like explaining it to John while he's like really frustrated. He's like, use this shit.
Oh man, it's so good. That's the thing about these movies, is that there is so many kills that it's hard to remember which one happened where, and like But I mean, they managed to switch it up enough that it never gets tiresome for me. Like I'm always along for it, you know?
Yes. And I love how crazy it gets as well. Like he goes out to the fucking desert to like cut his fucking finger off and like vow that he'll kill Winston.
I know, like they keep
at
expanding.
At that point, I was just like, oh my god, like what is going on? Like this is crazy.
I know. I like how they expanded the lore and stuff, you know, enough. It's not just nonstop, I'm gonna go here and kill this person and this person. It's, you know, they got creative with what they had John do.
I just love the whole world of John Wick. It's so fun.
It is. It's a crazy, crazy world.
10 out of 10.
It is wait, I didn't even rate the second one. I don't think we
also 10 out of 10 for me.
For me, the second and third are still 9 out of 10s, but man, they are close. I don't know what's stopping them from being 10s. After a rewatch of each, I know. After even though I've seen them like multiple times already, like I bet they could go up to a 10.
I just think for what they are, they do the job. Like, it's not only something where it's like constant great action, but it's also like expanding this world each time and making you interested to see what happens. Even if you're like not completely like latched onto John Wick as a character or anything, it's still just so fascinating, like watching everything and how it's going to play out, because it gets so ridiculous and so fun. And it's just like great action, great acting. I love it.
Yeah, it's got everything. It really does. Like, maybe not, I mean, yeah, the story isn't something so unique or so meaningful or whatever. I mean, it's a simple story, but it's still there, and it still allows for all this cool stuff to happen.
I think it just becomes more unique as it goes, though, because like we've really not seen much like this in action movies where it's like this expanded and this crazy.
Right.
Like, I mean, you probably have, but it's like this is an ongoing thing where it like actually cares about the characters. It cares about how it's filming everything. It just
feels like
constantly well produced, you know, and it like cares about the world and expanding it and making it interesting.
I mean, it's just like, it's refreshing to have an original action franchise. Not, I mean, yeah, there's like Mission Impossible and James Bond, but like something this kind of recent that still is managing to get better and better, and like is the best at honestly what they're doing compared to anyone else, like in terms of action, choreography, all that, at least for American movies. You know, whenever you watch martial art movies, they're often, you know, international films, but like this is an American made film and it's still this fucking good at what it's doing. Like, that's pretty cool.
It's always just the 3 J's for me. I just love them. It's the James Bond, the John Wick, and the Jason Bourne.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too.
They're all just great. John Wick is very like slowly like surpassing the Bourne trilogy for me, but I don't know just yet.
Oh, you have the Bourne trilogy higher?
Oh, I love the Bourne trilogy. It's amazing.
I really need to rewatch them.
I think the Bourne trilogy is more story driven than John Wick. Like,
they are.
You know, it's a fascinating character, and it's like the entire thing is basically about him, you know, trying to recover all of his memories and like figure out who he was and all that stuff. And I find that really fascinating. But John Wick is like, it's less of that. Like, it's less of a extremely fascinating character, but it's still so good at what it does. Like, as an action movie, I think it's better than the Bourne trilogy, but
yeah,
if we're going by like story, the Bourne trilogy I think is better.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, it just has the best action, like executed action out of all of any other franchise I can think of, honestly. We might as well get on to the 4th movie. I have to go to the bathroom though before we do that again.
Okay. All right.
Well, on to John Wick Chapter 4. Woo!
Yes.
We should just talk like Keanu Reeves the whole time.
I'm thinking I'm back.
Okay, where to start with John Wick Chapter 4?
Yeah, I have no idea where to start, but...
It's a lot. Yeah. It's the longest movie out of all 4. So, and it's also the one that we've seen probably the least, obviously. But it's the most recent one, so...
I really want to go watch it again, but I'm so broke.
I was thinking about seeing it again, but I just haven't had the chance. Because it's definitely a lot to take in. Yeah, I mean, it just upped the action, like, even more than I thought it probably could. In terms of, like, how much they packed into one movie.
I mean, I kind of do really feel like it's the best action, but I'm
out of
still,
all 4.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, 3 is also just fucking crazy, but Jesus, like, some of the scenes in this, oh my god.
I don't know, I'm, like, torn. I'm really torn on this movie. Like, I obviously enjoyed it quite a bit, but here's what I feel like with each movie. The first John Wick had the most iconic and memorable moments for me, and it had the most heart, because you're dealing with the stuff with his wife and his dog and like him getting a new dog in the end. It had the most heart and emotion and character for me. The second movie has the best ending and probably one of the best sequences, which is all the montage of like the pencil and all the people trying to kill him. And then the third movie has the best action overall, like the best memorable kills and all that. But the fourth movie, I'm trying to think of like what it's best at, because each movie for me has been best at their own thing, but I don't know. Like it just packed in the most consistent action, but a lot of the kills weren't quite as memorable for me. It's just more the set pieces. Like there's some obviously like memorable set pieces, which we'll talk about, I'm sure.
I think it's maybe the best looking.
It could be. That's true. I did notice that.
It's also probably the best editing as well. I think some of the editing choices in there are like really fucking good, particularly towards the end, which we'll probably talk about later. But
that's actually true. I didn't think about that.
I don't know if it's my favorite or not. Like I never really know with these movies, but it might just be recency bias. But like, holy shit! Like it just had everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. I mean, I know it's not the same for you, but like I loved the action so much. I loved the direction that all the characters went and stuff. Like the world was expanded once again. It felt like it was going fucking crazier. I just loved everything about it.
It did like expand. Yeah, it went bigger and better in a lot of ways. Like it gave us new characters with like new characters that even we understood where they're coming from. There's like kind of a emotional core to them, like new interesting characters, new places, new this, new that, and a lot of fucking action. And yeah, a lot of some of the best action too. But I don't know, I really need to rewatch it. I want to talk about all the stuff we love before I get into like my nitpicks, because unfortunately for me, it's not a perfect movie, and I have reasons. Like, I can't knock it though, because like, yeah, it is an amazing action movie. It is great looking. Like there's some shots that as soon as I saw them, I could just imagine people on Instagram using them for like cinematography posts and like, yeah, this is the shot they're going to use. I know this is the shot they're going to use.
I mean, they're all such consistently good looking movies, but I felt like this one was just like everything from the color to the framing to the fucking...
Yeah, I know.
Like there's a movement of the camera sometimes. Like you're just like, oh my God, this is great.
I'll give it that. I actually will give it that. It is probably the best looking out of them all. There was a shot that stood out to me, like it's when they're on the rooftop of like the Asian guys, kind of what is that place called?
It's the Continental.
Oh well, I'm talking about the other Continental. So there's several different Continentals, right?
Yeah, they were in the what was that? The Osaka one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's where it gets confusing. I always thought there was just one Continental. I didn't know there was several different ones. But yeah, when they're on the rooftop of that, and then like John's just standing on the rooftop, and it cuts to a shot of like you have these like this red neon building in the back, and then like this tree with flowers right there, and John's just standing there, and the whole shot is red, and it just looks so fucking cool.
It's like a wallpaper. So cool.
Yeah, like it's like literally like a wallpaper, and I was blown away by some of those shots for sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm fine getting into spoilers whenever, really.
If you want to, we can.
Yeah.
Spoilers for John Wick Chapter 4.
All right.
I did like some of the, I guess in terms of, okay, well the Continental gets blown up, so that's one thing.
Yes, yes it does.
A good introduction, I guess, to, what's his name, Bill Skarsgård's villain? He was a good villain, I thought.
I think he was a good villain, but also a pathetic villain. Like
he was.
He's really like he literally just gets everyone else to do everything for him, and then by the time it comes to the end, he's just like, I'm still gonna cheat because I'm a piece of shit. He's just a dickhead.
All the John Wick villains are just kind of like really pathetic, weaselly people, but especially this guy, this one, he's like peak weasel.
It felt like if the dude that killed the dog in John Wick 1 like became more powerful. That's what this villain felt like.
That's so true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They're all just like really, just kind of pathetic little guys. But that's the thing, is that each movie introduces like these people, and I kind of like, I wonder, why have we not seen this guy before or heard of this guy before? We're just now seeing him. I also liked the characters that they introduced. The black guy with the dog, he was pretty cool.
He was super cool. I liked him.
Like, I like how that's the thing. I like how each character has like a little quirk to him.
Yeah.
You know, like a little something to make him unique. Like you have the blind guy from Rogue One.
Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen was so good.
Yeah, which I didn't know. Is that actor's blind in real life then?
No, he's not.
Is he not?
It's just a
He has
coincidence.
to-
He's also blind in Rogue One.
Well, because I was wondering, in Rogue One, I assumed he was just playing a character, and then I saw him again in this, and they're the only two things I've seen him in, and he's blind in both. So, like, I just assumed, oh, he's blind in real life then. That's cool, I guess.
He's not blind.
Hollywood.
It's just...
Wow. He's just good at playing a blind guy.
Yes. I loved him.
but-
He was so good.
Probably the best new character that they introduced in this movie, for sure. Like, hands
Yeah.
down. Yeah, I understood where he was coming from. You know, he has the motivations with his daughter, and like he doesn't want to go after John Wick, but he has to. I like kind of what they were doing with the characters in this movie. If we're talking stuff, new characters though, or just characters introduced, I do have to talk about one that I fucking hated. I hated this guy, and
boy.
it was the big guy with the grill and the inhaler.
I loved him.
That guy.
I loved
you
him.
loved him?
I fucking
Oh
loved
man,
him.
no. That's to me it started feeling like he felt like a cartoon character. It started feeling too
He was
over the
literally like
top.
Kingpin.
I know, but like I could take Kingpin seriously. This guy is like a Humpty Dumpty clown. Like I couldn't take him seriously.
He was like a cartoon character, but I loved how goofy it was. Like, and like you
Yeah.
cannot deny that the fight was awesome.
The
Like,
fight was great.
Oh my
I mean,
god!
all
it was
the fights were
one
great.
It was one of my favorite sequences in the whole movie. Just him like when he threw him off the fucking balcony and like he crushes his head. Oh my god!
Yeah, it was cool. I like that setting and everything. Like how everyone else is like dancing and they don't give a shit, and like it's raining and it's just cool. Like it gave me like Matrix vibes actually, like just the dystopian like noir feel of it all, and everyone's like it's like a nightclub, people are dancing. That's the vibe it gave me. But the guy himself, I was hooked by all of the action. That's for sure. It's just to me the story kind of with each movie starts feeling more and more watered down to where it becomes less story driven, more action driven. And this was like the point for me to where it really felt just more action driven than anything. I know there's a story there, but it felt like this could have been a story. They could have like taken the story from 3 and 4 and it's basically almost the same in like a few ways, you know, like 3 and 4 story are kind of there's not much
I'm
change.
happy enough with that. Really, I think that they're still like bringing in new things and like new characters and like new ways for John to basically get screwed over and shit. And like,
Yeah.
if that brings me more action, I'm happy. Like, I don't mind. And like
No,
with a lot of,
yeah.
you know, parts of these movies, like I'm completely happy. I've learned now to suspend disbelief. You know, there are so many things that happen where it's just like, this is ridiculous, unrealistic even, but I don't care. I love it.
I'm fine with it too in terms of like as long as the action's still good and entertaining, like keep giving it to me. It felt like in the previous John Wick movies, like I understood like why John Wick was there, like, you know, okay, it makes sense to have to do this, but it felt like they were just kind of like creating excuses to go and do this and that just to have some cool set pieces. And I understand that, like as long as the action's good, I'm fine, but it didn't like bother me as much as I'm making it sound. But yeah, I need to suspend my disbelief more as well though, because it starts to, this one was the one that really stretched any type of grounded like reality. Like the first movie felt grounded to me, and maybe even the second, I don't know, until like the end when everyone's getting like the hitman notification. Then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is like fantastical almost.
I think
But
3 is what taught me to suspend disbelief. Like, I'm just like, this is so dumb, but I love it. So
I'm trying to learn to just take it for what it is, you know. It's not going to be a grounded like simple thing.
even like in that end sequence, like he's literally told about like the gun that he's using, like it has like 21 like rounds or whatever in it, and like the dude is spinning around in a car and he never reloads. He just shoots nonstop, and it's like, I don't care. That's fine.
I mean, it was a great shot. It was really cool. Like I've never seen
that shit was so
like,
cool.
That was awesome.
He just kept going, like
Just kept drifting around, and
I was literally
that
like
was
laughing in the theater. I was just like, "This is fucking great." Yes, keep going.
Yeah. No, I was like happy during all those scenes. Like I had a smile on my face for all the action scenes. But whenever it came to like, okay, we have to go and talk to this ridiculous over the top character. I'm like wondering, why are we seeing him again? Oh, it was just too much. He had too many quirks. He had the inhaler, the grill, the goofy haircut, and the fat suit. I'm like, this guy is straight up. He's not even just a comic book villain. He is a caricature.
I was happy enough with it. I just loved it. I didn't care.
I mean, I can roll with it, but if I have to, there were some nitpicks I had like that.
Oh, that's fair.
But I mean, speaking of the set pieces, and also that scene with him drifting around, that was a cool set piece. I love those stupid roundabout things the UK has to where there's so many different lanes, those things.
Magic
that was
roundabout.
Pretty cool.
It was like a game of Frogger, but turned up to 11.
It was
so good.
Frogger for adults. That's what that was.
And can we talk about the overhead shot?
Oh yeah, we have to. That was
dude.
Full on video game type shit, and it was awesome.
I know. I was I couldn't even believe my eyes when I was watching it. I was like, fuck me. Look at this. This is so cool.
Definitely top 3 memorable moments from the movie for me was the overhead shot, the overhead tracking shot.
Oh,
I don't know how they did that. That was insane.
I don't know either, but it's it's just such good filmmaking.
The overhead shot and the roundabout car scene that went on, those are the two memorable set piece moments. But also we have to fucking talk about the staircase, the never ending staircase. What the
That's
fuck?
The one that everyone's talking about, I think. Yeah,
everyone was talking about it, and that's the part where I started laughing because he kept going up and up, and then he gets knocked down, all of them. What the fuck? Those moments make the movie memorable for me, so I'm glad they include stuff like that. Because the fight scene in the Asian Continental, that went on for a while, and it felt like never-ending guys running into the room and fighting him, and that was entertaining to watch, but nothing in particular stood out about that scene to me. There was no iconic kill or no iconic thing to happen. It was just kind of cool action. That's why I said, I guess in what I wrote about this, is that the set pieces are what make this memorable to me. So they had some good ones. They really did.
There was one moment in the Osaka Continental where Donnie Yen does that whole the doorbell thing,
Mm-hmm.
When he sets up those little traps. I did that. I thought that was cool. That's the main thing that stands out to me though.
No, I agree. That one part for sure stood out. That was unique. Anything they can do to add some type of creativity or uniqueness to these action scenes, I appreciate, because we're 4 movies in. We've seen John Wick kill hundreds of people. I need something, new. So I'm glad they were still able to provide that.
I really liked just going back to the staircase sequence. I really liked that one bit with Donnie Yen where that dude that constantly was after them, that's working for Bill Skarsgård. Donnie Yen just goes up to him and he's just the guy, he's just you can't kill me, remember? And he's just no, but I can still hit you, motherfucker.
Oh, he was so
that
good.
Is awesome.
Yeah, I loved how that guy had just a recurring rivalry with the dog for some reason. It was always the dog coming to get him. Yeah, and then he gets killed in the end, as he should. Oh, and also about the staircase scene, I loved how they included the song Genesis by Justice on the staircase scene.
Oh,
you know that song?
No, I don't know it.
That's an album that I love. It's Justice. I think it's a self-titled album. It's got the cross as the album cover, and it's black. But it's electronic album, and you would love it because their songs totally fit into the fucking John Wick movies, and they put that into the movie, and it was so good. It was during the staircase scene.
Also noticed a song called Dreams by Zoo that was in the Osaka fight.
Oh,
I noticed that immediately. I was like, oh, that's that fucking song. Yeah.
No, I love how they brought back songs from the first movie and put in their own new songs for this one. The soundtrack has been a consistently awesome thing about all of these.
Yeah, for sure.
This was a really random note that I put down. I thought Bill Skarsgård did a good job. He was a perfect weaselly villain. But another guy who I want to see put into movies, who I could imagine in this role, was the guy that plays Tyrell Wellick from Mr. Robot. Couldn't you imagine him being...
Oh, that would be great. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Because Bill Skarsgård just looked like him for a split second, and I just was imagining him in his spot, and I just thought he would be the
awesome.
perfect. So it's
I
just
actually want to
random.
make like a list of people that would be great in John Wick movies.
Yeah,
It's like there's so
that would
many
be-
that you could put in there. Just going back to like the editing as well, like I loved the entire like sequence where it's like all about to kick off like right at the end, and like there's that whole like radio station thing.
Yeah,
And, like the editing with that was so good.
yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
oh
good.
my god, this
No,
is
I
hype
love.
as
Yeah,
fuck.
it is. I love how they implemented the music with each of the scenes, and it was really well done. It was fun. It made it very fun. Even though to me this movie does have the most critiques I could give a John Wick movie. Like, oh, my last critique I wanted to say was before we get to the ending, because we have to talk about that. I felt like John Wick in this movie, he didn't have I couldn't remember an iconic line or really good moment with him to where he just like, I felt like his dialogue was so stripped down and he was the least emotional out of all the movies in this one. Like, I just didn't feel him really there as
It definitely was
as a
more
character.
stripped down. Like it was noticeably stripped down for sure. But like I sort of just chalked that up to him sort of being sick of having to do so much shit, like just to be free at this point. Like he's
Yeah.
just like, I mean, it feels like he's become less talkative over the movies, like, and that makes sense, honestly. Like I feel
Yeah.
like he's just pissed off and just wants to end it all now. Like he's over it.
That's true. He does definitely, I think, get less and less, I don't know, emotive or like talkative, throughout all the movies. Because in the
Outwardly,
first
yeah.
movie, because in the first movie he has like long pieces of dialogue, and like that's where I brought the whole dialogue earlier out, where he's tied up and he's like, "Killed that from me," and it was just like moments like that, like But this one, then I don't know. He was just I think he was just too caught up, and there's so much action to be done that you don't get as many of those small moments of like iconic dialogue with him, so that's something I wish I had a bit more of, but it's fine. They filled that time up with cool action. So
I did like that one. It's a bit of emotion from him, but I did like that one bit where he was talking about what he'd like on his gravestone.
oh yeah, that was a good
Like that
moment.
was nice. That was nice.
That was a good moment. I like that.
Like
So
it
he's
was
still-
something
yeah.
kind of unexpected as well, because up until that point we hadn't really heard him talk all that much. But then he just like, I thought the scene was gonna end, but then he just turns around and he's like, "Loving husband. That's what I want on my gravestone. Loving husband."
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that
that's
was
nice."
good. That was nice. I guess that leads into the ending, unless there's any other moment. There's so many moments we could probably talk about, but the ending is obviously what everyone's going to take away from it. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the duel though. The duel was
The
great.
duel was really cool.
I
Yeah.
think that's like an iconic moment, at least with John Wick,
It
where
is.
he's just like, consequences, and then he shoots Bill
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
That is pretty iconic. That's true.
I did love
I think
that.
I definitely need to rewatch this movie and then let it sit with me even longer for it to like cement itself in these iconic moments,
Yeah, I'm desperate to rewatch it.
because it's still like so fresh in my mind, and I really need to think about it more. But there are definitely memorable moments in this one, and that was one of them. Yeah, I didn't think that what would become of our John Wick, I didn't think that would really happen, but it did.
I said it right after the movie ended. He's not dead.
You don't think he's dead?
He's not dead. No, he's not dead.
I
No
part of
fucking
me
chance.
wants to believe that, because like in my mind, movie logic, like unless I saw him getting buried, I'm not gonna believe he's probably dead, because like he's withstood so much. We only see him just kind of like fall over and then like fade to black, and then you see the gravestone, but we don't see
Yeah,
anything in between that.
The
So-
gravestone is there just like so that people think he's dead, and then he can
Right.
live his best life.
Right. Live his best life. The only thing, but the only thing that kind of keeps me from believing that is that the conversation that Lawrence Fishburne and Ian McShane have, like at the gravestone, like you think those two would know that he's not dead as well, and that they would probably have some talk.
I think they
like,
do
about
know.
him not. But they talked about they talked as if there was other people around hearing them, like so they pretended like he was dead. And I was like, but it's just you two there. So
I think they're just playing around and having some fun with each other, because Lawrence Fishburne walks away giggling. Like,
Really?
come on. Yes.
Okay,
he's
I
not
need to.
dead.
As soon as I rewatch the movie, I'm gonna watch out for those little details.
I just feel like, I mean, they did say that they're gonna be like ongoing with this. They didn't say that chapter 4 was gonna be the end. Like they never made any indication of that. And as well as that, I am interested to see the ballerina, but I'm not like super interested in the expanded John Wick universe. I just want John Wick, really. But like, I hope the ballerina's good. Like, Ana de Armas will hopefully be great, but it's like John Wick is John Wick, and that's all I want.
John Wick
like,
is what people come to see. Like, you can have all these different characters doing cool action, but nobody's going to do it as cool as John Wick. He's the reason to go see him. It's literally named after him. So I wish that they would just include him in everything that they do with it, but maybe the spin-off will be good.
I mean, I think they're still planning on doing that Continental series, which I have no interest in, but...
And especially after, rest in peace, Lance Reddick passed away. Then, like,
that's a big
I felt like he was probably going to be
sad.
such a big... Wait, but then again, is the Continental thing, is that, like, take place before or after the John Wick
I have
movies?
no idea.
Yeah, I guess if it was after, Lance Reddick wouldn't have been in it anyway, because they killed his character off in this movie, too.
Yeah, which is, like, pretty poetic, I guess.
I guess.
Jesus.
I mean, it's
I didn't think that would
pretty
happen.
strange timing. It's still very sad what happened. I guess it's weird how life imitates art in that way.
Yeah. He was always one of my favorite parts.
That was a shock to see, in the movie that happened. Because, like, I knew about it happening in real life, but then to see it happen on screen, it almost felt like sadder because you knew that it happened in real life. And then seeing that happen to him on screen, like, made it. Yeah,
I was
more
shocked
sad.
in the moment. I was like, "Oh wow, they
really did it." I know. Yeah, I guess we'll see if John Wick really lived on or not. I know that 5th movie is already like greenlit,
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying.
But a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be a prequel.
Oh god, it better not be.
Which, I mean, but there's still. I would rather watch a John Wick prequel than a ballerina spinoff like thing.
Well, no, but like,
honest.
I don't mean to sound like a dick, but like, Keanu doesn't look like he did.
No
anymore. Like, I don't think...
but that's why, and honestly, I would hate this even more. People are wondering if they'll like cast a younger actor to play a young John Wick. No, that'd be even worse. Yeah, I mean, they can't really do much there, I guess.
I wanted John Wick. I always wanted it to just be its own thing, where it's just this ongoing series of movies, no branches or anything like that, no prequels, just its own thing. And I hope it can continue to be that, but obviously the ballerina is happening. So I'm not mad about it, but it's just like I don't think I'll ever latch on to the others as much as I do John Wick.
And I don't think anybody else will either, honestly. People go to see Keanu kick ass, and if they're not going to get that, then it's not going to feel as special, and it's not going to be as good.
I do love Ana de Armas, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll probably be good, but it'll just make us miss John Wick even more. Yeah, we'll see if he's alive or dead. We shall see. Do you want to rank all these movies, unless there's anything else about Chapter 4 we haven't touched on?
Sure. I mean, some of them are very interchangeable, but...
I know that's the thing about this franchise, that
it could change
it has
at any
been
day.
so good. Yeah, it has been so good that they are interchangeable. Like, I didn't know how to rank them for the longest time, but I'm pretty confident in my ranking now. At 4, I have John Wick Chapter 4. It's last, even though it has some of the coolest set pieces, some of the coolest action. It looks great. It's just an amazing action movie. I'm not in the same boat as other people calling it. There's literally people saying it is one of the greatest action films of all time, if not the best. I think it's a little too soon to say that.
I wouldn't say the best, but I do think it's up there.
It's up there. This whole franchise is up there for like some of the best action you'll ever see. But I still think personally 3 has better action, but overall 4 it's a great movie. It's a great conclusion to his character, if it even is an actual conclusion to it. I need to rewatch it, but yeah.
Well, at number 4, I have John Wick 1.
Oh.
But I do love it. It's still a 5-star. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Good.
I think it's a perfect movie. It's just like among the rest of the chaos of John Wick. Like, it just... I love the chaos of John Wick, and I love how crazy it goes, and that's why I've like loved how it's gotten like later on. Like, 1 on its own is still such a great action movie, and it's still like you said, has the most heart, and it's got some great fucking characters, great acting. I love it.
Number 3, I have John Wick Chapter 2. I love it still. It's a great, amazing action movie. Before I saw the 4th one, it was also the one I had seen the least, though. It still has the best ending out of any John Wick movie, and it's got actually it's probably one of the best endings I've ever seen. Like, it's just so good of an ending.
It really is.
And it's got its iconic lines, it's got its iconic kills, upped a lot of stuff from the previous movie. But yeah, it just, for some reason, I don't find myself coming back to it as often as some of the other ones. But then again, it is amazing. It's still 9 out of 10. But yeah, it's my number 3.
Shyamalan twist. Number 2 is my third.
Wow.
It used to be my favorite. I still, like I said, still a 5-star. Still fucking love it. But... yeah, just compared to the other ones right now, I think it's at my number 3. Like you said though, it's still just like so many fucking great action sequences, so many great lines. It's just great looking. Everything about it I love. Great ending. Just I love everything about it. But yeah, it's number 3. They're all perfect movies, I think.
You know, that if that used to be your favorite, but it's at your third now, like they're all that good. Number 2, I have John Wick 3. The best action, in my opinion. It's got some of the best kills. It's like, I don't know. For me, it is probably the most rewatchable. For some reason, it's still the most rewatchable. Yeah, not much else to say about it. It's just like the most thrilling. I'd have to rewatch 4 to decide between which one is the most consistently thrilling, I guess. But yeah, it's just, I never get tired of that one. Still not perfect though, 9 out of 10. I need to rewatch it and maybe it'll be a 10.
They're all 10s for me. I can't help myself.
In my heart, they're all pretty much 10s, but
I mean, they're 10s for entertainment. You're never bored, I don't think.
No, in terms of entertainment, they're 10s.
Well, my number 2, and keep in mind, extremely interchangeable right now, but I do want to rewatch 4. But yeah, number 2 is John Wick 4. I can't get over how crazy it went, and I love everything about it. Every fucking sequence is so riveting to me. Like, even the dialogue I love. I love this world so much. I love the action. It's so good looking. It went extremely crazy with the creativity that it uses. Like, I love it. So yeah, number 2.
And number 1, I have John Wick 1. Even though it has the tamest action out of all of them, I just love the simplicity of it. The small character moments. It's got Willem Dafoe, like I said. So that is
an instant win.
It's an instant win. The club scene will forever be my favorite moment in the John Wick movies. Like, it's just so iconic. It's the movie that's the closest to me in terms of like memory as well. Like memories, like me and my brother would watch it all the time and just like get so excited at certain scenes. And it was always that first movie that we'd have so much fun with. So yeah, it's just it's the most iconic, the most memorable, and the most emotional for me. It's got pretty much everything I need. Yeah, number 1.
My number 1 is John Wick 3 right now. I think it's like also just having rewatched all of them before John Wick 4. Like, now it's all just so fresh in my memory, and like I do want to watch John Wick 4 again, and maybe that'll be number 1 at some point. Yeah, John Wick 3 is, as of now, number 1. It's just nice. It's the best action. It's so much fun, consistently moving the entire time, and it's so crazy. It's just, I love everything about it.
Amazing action franchise. It's one of the best, if not the best. I mean, in my opinion, like, people say that like the Mission Impossible movies only get better and better, and yeah, they kind of do. But maybe you could say the same about James Bond, but not really. Honestly, I mean,
James Bond is back and forth, I think.
That's back and forth. That's like, it goes back and forth. But I think that John Wick really has consistently stayed amazing throughout. Like, it's, regardless of whether it's gotten better or worse, like, they all stay amazing. And I can't say that about any other action franchise with 4 movies or more. So it's probably my favorite action franchise at this point.
That's the thing about John Wick is, like, you know, every time they bring out a new movie, I'm always like concerned, like, is this going to be the one where it like breaks the streak? But they never break it.
No,
like,
they don't.
It's just, they're always so good.
I have full faith that, like, yeah, anything else they do will be good. I can't imagine a bad John Wick movie. I know we got quite a bit of John Wick questions too, so cool. Keep the John Wick train rolling. Okay, I'll start. Well, let's get into listener questions. John Wick, baby. Okay. From Movies That Don't Suck, he asked, if there is a chapter 5, should it be a sequel or prequel?
A sequel?
Yeah, a sequel. If John Wick is alive,
Either leave it here or don't
exactly
continue without John Wick, or don't do a
Yeah.
prequel. You know, I don't want that.
No, I just don't like the idea of we've come this far. Why do a prequel now? I don't need it. Have that be the Continental series. I don't care.
They tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even
Oh
matter.
my god.
Sorry.
As you were saying that, I knew you were quoting Linkin Park. That'd be what they should include in the John Wick movies. Throw a Linkin Park song in there. Why not?
Imagine
I
him
don't know how
beating
well
the
that
shit
would
out of
fit.
people to paper cut or something.
Oh, that'd be
Or
hard as
when
hell.
he cuts that fat dude with the card, it just kicks in
Oh.
then or something.
From my mom at Follow Francie.
What's up?
Hey, she asked, what are your thoughts on how the movie ended for the character of John Wick?
I have many thoughts, mother. I don't want it to end, so I need more.
Yeah, I don't want it to end either. I hope that he faked his death. How would you go about a 5th movie if he did fake his death so he could live a peaceful life? But then again, he didn't even have to fake his death because he won the duel in the end and he was cleared of all these things. So,
I think maybe
the hit.
if that was the case, maybe he's just thinking, there's no way that I ever get out of this alive. There's always going to be someone that's chasing me no matter what. Maybe he was just paranoid and felt like that was the best way to do it.
That's true, but another thing I thought was I kind of assume for a character like this outcome, it does make the most sense for him because will he ever be at peace again?
Yeah.
He lost his wife, he lost what his life left him. He doesn't really have much else to live for unless he got a new dog, I guess. But I don't see him finding a new wife, because he was so close to his last one.
Well, he always
And-
kept saying that he wanted to live to remember her. He doesn't
Oh,
want
he
to die.
did?
He wants to live.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
Maybe I missed that. Maybe I missed that line. But maybe this, for a character like this, maybe this was the only way he could be at peace. I mean, he's killed hundreds of people, so I don't know how you really just go to sleep at night.
I'm just hoping he faked his own death. Yeah.
I
But if
hope
they
so,
do
too.
bring a John Wick 5 or whatever, and it turns out he is faking his own death, I'm imagining what they'll do is he's at peace, living it up somewhere or whatever, and everything's fine, and then someone finds out or whatever, and then comes to try and
Yeah.
kill him or some shit. I don't know.
It kind of sounds
Or maybe
like a
someone has a
rehash of the
marker on
first
him.
movie.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
but I'm fine with it. I just want more John Wick. I don't care.
No, I want more John Wick 2, but then it'd be we're just starting over, because in John Wick 1, then he was retired from a hitman life, and then he got stirred up back in the chaos, and now it'd be the same thing.
Maybe he is actually dead and his zombie comes back to life and beats the shit out of people. That would be cool.
I wish that the end credit scene, which we didn't even talk about, by the way. Did you watch the end credit scene?
There's an end credit scene.
Yeah, there was. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to watch it again? It's nothing, honestly. It's nothing. It's barely
Okay, what is it? I didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so the end credit scene was so the blind guy, he was walking in a crowded area, and he had flowers, and I think he was going to meet his daughter, maybe, who's the daughter of the Asian hotel guy. Him that ended up dying.
Yeah, Rina
because he
Sawayama.
killed him. Yeah, he killed her dad, the blind guy. So she finds him basically and is walking in the crowd, and then she pulls out a knife, and then that's it. So it's assuming yeah, so she tracked him down, she wanted revenge, and then it cut to black. And I was so what are they gonna do with that? Are they just kind of telling us what ended up happening with them?
They'll probably do something of it, but that's
I
another
guess.
thing where it feels like it's expanding more of the universe, and literally I just want John Wick. That's it.
I know, just give us John Wick. Some of these
That's
characters
the
are
good
cool.
thing. That's the good thing about John Wick. It gives enough time to all of these interesting side characters. You don't need to go deeper into it. It's just
Right.
Donnie Yen was perfect in this movie for what he was supposed to be. Just
Yeah.
leave it at that,
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I like how they introduce these new interesting characters, but I don't think they can hold their own movie or their own side story. I just don't care as much about them. Like, I care if they're involved with John Wick's story, but not on their own. I really don't care as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish the end credit scene was just like, if they really wanted to, like...
John Wick's hand coming out of a grave.
That's literally what I was fucking about to say.
Oh, shit.
I was about to say, yeah, I was about to say that, to pan to the grave and just have his hand pop out. That'd be like some Sam Raimi type shit. If Sam
Oh my
Raimi
god,
directed
imagine
John
Sam
Wick.
Raimi directing John.
As long as they kept the same action people doing the choreography, then yeah, have Sam Raimi direct a John Wick movie.
Like, he gets... I mean, he got his finger cut off. He's still got it cut off. Like, he could put some sort of weapon on the
Put
end
a
of it
little
now.
chainsaw, just a little
Or, like,
chainsaw.
just a
and-
knife. And stab people.
Yeah, just that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Or a pencil. A pencil.
or a pencil. Shit.
Yeah.
Then he can just write with it. Yeah.
Then eventually it would run out and he'd just have, like, another stump again. What are we talking about?
I don't know. That went off the rails. From All Right So Reviews, he asked, "What direction should they go in Part 5? If it is a prequel, who should play John?"
No one.
Yeah, just have Keanu. I feel like they could do enough makeup on Keanu Reeves that he could still look like 2014 Keanu Reeves. You know, like maybe. He still doesn't, like, his beard's getting a little gray, sure, but, I mean...
But is there enough interesting, like, to be done with stuff that came before John Wick?
I think as long as it involves John, then, like, yeah, I mean, they could probably, you know, because, like, in John Wick 1, they're constantly telling stories about what happened, or, like, what he would do or what he was like. So, like, maybe we could see, like, why people started getting so scared of John and they started considering him the boogeyman, you know? Like they were talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still like a past there, and plus you could even like include his wife in that stuff if you want, and like flesh out their relationship more.
I just want a sequel. That's all. I just want it to keep going as it is. I don't really want anything before, but I mean, if it is going to be a prequel or whatever, then I hope it's done well. Like, I don't have much faith in it, but I hope it is done well if they do that.
Get Adam Driver to play young Keanu Reeves.
I love
they
Adam, but
kind
no.
of look a little similar.
Nah, I don't want that.
Also from All Right So Reviews, he asked, John versus Neo, who wins? Well, you haven't seen the Matrix movies yet. You know, there's Neo, but then there's Neo outside of the Matrix and in the Matrix. If it's Neo outside of the Matrix, obviously John wins because he's basically like a regular guy. He's just hooked up to the Matrix. But Neo in the Matrix, he'll kill anybody because he can literally stop bullets midair. Like, so I'm sorry, John Wick, but Neo would win. Hands down. He can literally dodge bullets. He ends up dodging bullets and becoming like a god. From moving _ pictures, she asked, if you had a role in the John Wick universe as a character, what would it be?
Which character would we like to play?
I guess. I don't know if it was what would we be or what do we want to be.
I mean, I assume I'd be an assassin, but like I don't know. It's like, I'm guessing it's just like, who would you want to play like among all of these?
Well, everyone would want to be John Wick. That's too easy, though.
Could I be a good John Wick?
You could, yeah. You've got the look down.
I wasn't trying, but thanks.
I would want to be Lawrence Fishburne's character. I think it'd just be cool to hang out with
Not the look, I'm guessing.
Not the look. No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I don't look like Lawrence Fishburne, but
I was
want to
just
be
thinking
his
like
character.
look-wise, but I mean,
Oh, no, no.
Do you think that he would be like the most fun to play?
Oh, no. I mean, John Wick would be the most fun to play, but if I can't be John Wick because that's too easy, I'd want to probably be Lawrence Fishburne or Ian McShane's character. They're pretty cool.
I want to play the inhaler guy.
Oh my god. Fuck that guy. I hate
Either
him.
that or the fucking that Asian guy from John Wick 3. Like, I really like him.
Oh, yeah,
He's
I
a lot
love
of fun.
him too. Oh, he'd be awesome. From Get High Watch Movies, they asked best non-John Wick action franchise.
Bourne trilogy.
Yeah,
For me.
I would say the Bourne trilogy too. But then you look at like they had the Bourne Legacy and the Jason Bourne self-titled movie, and
I liked the Jason Bourne self-titled one. I thought it was good, not great, but good. But like,
yeah.
I just consider it like the trilogy. Like, that's it.
I do too. I really wish that they just left it at the trilogy. I would say that, and obviously, Mission Impossible is a good one. I don't love him as much as everyone else, but
James Bond,
of course. Yeah, the Daniel Craig ones.
I think Casino Royale, Skyfall, and No Time to Die, especially, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They're all just fantastic.
Mainly Skyfall for me, but I do love a couple of those other ones too. But the first two Terminator movies, I can't say that's a great franchise though, because then it really kind of goes to shit. Film Forager, Chandra asks, discuss your trip with Kath coming up, if I haven't already, she said. That's what she asked. So I guess I've saved that one for last because it'd be a good segue into explaining what's going to be happening, I guess. Yeah, I'm going on a trip. By the time you're listening to this, I mean, the episode will be out, but I'll be probably gone. And yeah, me and Kath are going on a trip to Arizona because we have a vacation home there. And we are going to try and go see the Breaking Bad filming locations because, I mean, I'm obsessed with that. And she watched it with me too. That's a main thing. We might try and go see the Grand Canyon. Yeah, just going on a little trip. I don't do it often. So with that being said, we'll be on a little hiatus because I'm not able to like bring all my recording stuff with me. It just wouldn't work. So I'll be back like beginning of May, and then we'll record an episode, but then that won't be out for like another couple weeks probably. Yeah. So
it'll be like
a while.
Around May 14, 15 or something like that.
Probably.
The episode after that. May 14th is my birthday.
Oh, there you go. We'll be coming back on Liam's birthday. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, the episode will be out on his birthday.
Good shit.
It'll be like a whole month probably that we're not, recording and putting anything out. So just letting everybody know there. I'll update everyone on the social media too.
I mean, this episode will probably come out like April 19th, I think.
Yeah, so like mid-April, and then our next episode after that will be like mid-May. A bit of a break, but I mean, we all need a break sometimes. So
I certainly do, after those 4-hour recordings.
For real, yeah. I think it will be nice for everybody to have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
I guess I'll lead that into, if you want to keep up with us, we'll still be on social media, so you can find me at Views by Quinn on Instagram, Letterboxd, Music Board, all the social medias. Just check out the link tree in the description of the podcast.
And you can find me at Movies Music Me on YouTube, Instagram, Letterboxd, all of it in the link tree. Check it out.
And follow our podcast Instagram page if you want updates from there as well, at the Yeah No No Yeah podcast on Instagram.
And don't forget to rate the podcast on Spotify as well, and Apple Podcasts if you happen to be a degenerate who listens there. But yeah, we appreciate the support in any way that you can give it. And
speaking of support, we do have a Patreon, so if you want to support, and I mean, there's two different options. You can either go through Patreon if you want, but we also do have links now in the description of the episode of the podcast. If you want to go through Anchor, it's a bit of an easier way to pay. You can go through like Apple Pay, just for like a little amount, small amount, big amount, whatever you want to support. It all goes towards the artwork that we do, and we'll of course shout you out and all of that. Speaking of shouting out, we have to close with shouting out our patrons once again because we love them so much.
We do. So thank you, Kath.reviews. We appreciate it. Hope you have a good vacation.
And thank you, Julia, moving _ pictures, for being a patron.
Thanks, Julia. And also Sarah's Popcorn Chat. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening and supporting.
Yes, thanks, Sarah. And thank you, Ardor Film. I said it twice in this episode. Look at that.
Good shit.
Ardor Film. Amy, even though I can half the time never get your name right for some reason, we really appreciate you. Yeah, I'm getting a lot better. I got it right twice in this episode. So thank you for supporting us.
Thanks, Amy. And thanks, Mom. Thanks, Luna _ Pearl.
Thank you, Liam's mom. That's about that. So,
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. And peace out, bitches. I didn't know what to do at the end.
Fizzled out.